Welcome to the Fast Lane Lifestyle with Asafa Powell.
I'm going to say my name. All right, it's Alyshia Powell, his
You
better half.
You don't remember your name?
No, because you always say my name for me.
Alyshia Powell. Alyshia Powell. If I say her name, I won't mention Miller-Powell. I'll just say Alyshia Powell. So I don't know if she wanted to say Alyshia Miller-Powell. You understand?
I'll
Right?
just say the better half. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we have a very, very, very special guest here today. And I think this is one of the fastest Fast Lane Lifestyle.
Yeah?
The first one we had was with Yassine.
Yes.
And then we had a very fast one with Michael and Nesta.
Yep.
And then a fast one with Noah.
Yep.
I always call him Noah. Noah lies. But this one, guys.
Buckle up your
This
seatbelts.
This one is very, very fast. You know what I mean? We have the undisputed Olympic champion, world champion, one of the fastest man in the world, Justin Gatlin.
Boom, boom,
Appreciate
Big up,
it,
yo.
appreciate it.
Oh, some shot. Yeah, man. I'm, very, very honored to have Justin, on our platform. And guess what, guys? Justin told, our team at Tidal League, big up Tidal League as well for letting this happen. But Justin told our team that, I'm just going to, use one of my Diamond League money and just fly to Jamaica just to shoot with Asafa and Alyshia.
Is that so?
It was worth the investment.
Yeah.
Worth the investment, for sure. I haven't been to Jamaica in a decade, bro.
In 10
Is
years?
that long?
In 10 years, man. I think 2014 was the last time I was in Jamaica.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true. Man, why did I think it was sooner?
It feels like it's soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's great though.
But I'm back, and I'm glad
but
to
you're
be back.
and I'm sure you're loving it, right?
I am, man. I
Although
am loving it.
It's very hot, but
Yeah.
You know,
I'm in Texas now, so I'm used to hot to hot. That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, man. And let me start by saying, when the connection was made, I was talking to my wife, and I'm like, me and Justin has never really sat down to have a conversation. It was all business. It was all like, everyone was like in work mode, just going about their business. And there was always, it still exists now, but the rivalry between Jamaica and America, this is where it started.
Yes.
This is where it started. And the rivalry was through the roof, you know what I mean? And I was like, Alyshia, I think I need you to come on the podcast with me.
That's why I'm here. I'm just a filler.
I think you need to come on with me because, we've never really sat down. But I must say, last night we went out and we had dinner, and I was like, maybe I don't need Alyshia on the podcast, you know what I mean? Because it was so natural. And it felt like yes, we've known each other for more than half our lives, but it felt like...
That's crazy, bro, to even say that.
Yeah.
Like, I've known you more than
right?
half of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
And the first time we had a real conversation was last night.
That's insane.
I know, right? And it wasn't really about track.
Yeah.
Like,
It was about life and all that stuff. So, I'm really honored, man. Cheers to that, man.
Cheers to that, man, for sure.
because I was asking earlier before we even started that what was the energy like? Like, were you guys friends?
What?
Were you guys friends when you guys were running? Like, because seeing you guys communicate
She's
now.
putting us in the spot.
Already in the spot.
No, it's just like you guys just really get along so well. And if you wouldn't know, like, I would have thought you guys were actually friends, prior. Like, just the energy, the vibes. Like,
So I'll say now, I feel a kindred spirit to him, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I feel like in the track world, we started at the same time. So I knew exactly what he was going through. I understand the pressures. I understand the victories that he had. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now after retirement, I understand that as well. What I think is for us early on, we were so young, bro. We was like 20, 21 years old. We was extension of our coaches. And at that point in time, our coaches were young in the game too. So they everyone was like trying to like get to the top. So we were the pieces that were put on to the battlefield, so we had to fight each other often.
Yeah.
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 So it was legitimate rivalry. We never like had disrespect for each other, but we never had conversation.
Yeah.
Until now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, like I said, we were put in that situation from a very young age. So it's like, all I knew was fight Justin. fight. You
With
know
your
what I mean?
legs on the track.
So, on the track, you know what I mean? So that's all it was, for all these years, but, I'm happy that we actually have this platform nowadays, because back in the day we didn't have YouTube and we didn't have access to anything. It's just whatever the media wants to put
Narrative, right.
Yeah. So now, we have this platform. We can sit down, we can talk, we can share our stories, we can share life. Like, this humanizes us
So
a
much.
lot.
So much.
Make people know that we're actually human beings, with family. And I mean, you say you're just a prop. You're an extension of me.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you know what I mean? And I'm sure you have your family as well. And people need to know this side of us. I think they know all the accolades already. Everything is on Google. And I think over the years you have managed to kind of kept a lot of things private. So now is the chance to unleash.
To unleash it right here on the fast lane.
Let people know what's
That
up.
means he's about to get in your business.
But I feel like you should have the little piece of paper, because you dealing with an individual that's one of one, right?
Yeah.
So you probably, sometimes you see him in the house and be like, why is Asafa doing this? Why is Asafa doing that? You know what I mean? Because I know I get it from my side too.
Right.
So now you can be like, hey, Justin, tell me, is this something that elite sprinters be doing, especially when they retire?
I want to ask you guys, why are you guys training like you're still going to compete?
Because we don't want to get fat.
Simple
We
as
don't
that.
want to get fat.
Simple as that.
But you got to realize
Honestly.
that this is something we did all of our life. All of
Right.
our youth
Adult
life
life,
and then
yeah.
our whole adult life up to now,
Right.
we've trained every day of our life. So it feels weird when you got to like just stop training completely.
Right.
And I got to a point where I got big. I got like up to like 210 pounds the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But then I realized I was
Imagine,
like,
that's my weight right through my career.
right there?
Yeah,
You ran at 210?
Yeah, right through
Boy,
my
you
career,
a
man.
beast.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was big.
Yeah. I couldn't run at that weight. I feel like I would break every bone in my body.
Yeah, if
So I always had to drop
because
down.
you were a smaller
Yeah.
frame. Now, when I saw you last night, I was like, yo, where's this man going with all these
Muscle,
muscles,
big
man?
guns.
Yeah,
So I still-
my son would say, you have big muscles like daddy.
I stay in the gym,
Okay.
but I cut down on the running part.
Okay.
I can't be in the hot sun. You see what that sun
Right.
is like.
So I have to ask, I always ask him this. What do you miss? Like, do you miss competing? Do you miss the training? Like, how is retirement going for you?
I just miss the competing. Sometimes, even that. But I feel like I can look at races now and on TV, and I can enjoy them without feeling like I'm missing out. I can be like, man, look at them guys over there. They're young. Look at them. I know they tired, man. Ooh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can just sit and relax, have a drink, and just chill out.
Yeah.
Have a
Right.
good time.
Yeah, that's true. I tell you that all the time.
Yeah,
I
he
don't miss
says-
training, but competing
Mm-hmm.
and traveling, I miss that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does something to you. It's like it's one of one. Like I have never experienced anything else in my life that had equaled what it felt like to compete at a high level. So I think that's why, once you retire, you feel like you can't retire because you still want to kind of get that same feeling somehow.
Right.
And I think for me, COVID did that for me. COVID was like, hey, stop, it's time now to retire. Because I was planning to retire right after the Olympic Games, and then COVID came around, and I'm like, I'm not feeling this anymore. I don't think I want to wait. And then I didn't know when COVID was gonna end.
You ain't know. It
You
was
know what I mean?
It had no ending to it.
Exactly. So I was like, yo, I need to step away from this, spend more time with my family, spend more time with the wife and stuff like that. And that caused us another baby. that caused us another one.
Hey,
You
cheers to
know
that,
what I
because the same thing happened to me.
You had a COVID baby?
I had a COVID baby. And them COVID babies different, right?
They're built
They
different, honestly. But
So
okay.
you're married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How many years?
About six.
Six.
Six in the game.
Man, and kids? How many kids?
I got a 14-year-old and I got a 3-year-old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And more to come. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm still
I had
beat-
some stinky toe last night. So.
Talking about the stinking toe, I'm glad he brought that up. Guys, a lot of Jamaicans would know this thing. This man brought up the stinking toe, right? And I hope your wife is watching this. So, guys, stinking toe. And Jamaicans, please let me know, because I grew up in the country. I know stinking toe. I know it's edible, but I didn't know it was for a certain thing. You know what I mean? For like bed stuff. I didn't know that. You understand? But I learned the hard way last night. Let me say,
Yeah.
I learned the hard way. But yeah, so you know, we had some stinking toe last night, and my wife was like, stinking toe. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it already? So I'm like,
So you knew it was coming though.
so I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I knew it was coming. You know
Not
what I
him
mean?
putting me
So-
on the spot.
So I was like,
He's like, no.
She
I
said,
don't know.
go wash your hands and come
So-
to bed.
listen, man. No, no, I did wash my hands, but then I went to bed and I think the smell of it was still on my face.
Smell it on him.
What?
I was like,
And she was like, go and wash your face,
Brush your teeth.
do all that stuff. So this is advice for you, man. Advice. When I know you got a stinking toe last night, when you go home, make sure you wash your hands, wash your face, shower. Just take a shower, brush
whole
your
shower.
teeth, because like the name suggests, stinking toe, it smells like a stinking fungus toe.
It smelled like sweaty feet.
Yeah, man.
The outside though, not the inside. Not the inside, the outside.
Oh man, it stinks, man. But I mean, if we don't know, maybe we'll find out in a few months if it's working.
Lord of,
Listen, don't text me, give me a call. I'm like, hey, I got some news for you. And then you're gonna look to me to give you the news too.
Well, I know, right? The same news.
oh God.
But
So I have to ask the question, right? I'm gonna the stinking soul talk.
All right,
We're done.
We
It's
step
done.
away from it. We step away from it.
How did you deal with like the pressure? So as you were saying, the similarities, because I find like with him, it's like a lot of like mental toughness. So can you like talk us through that? So like any athlete that's going through it right now, they can like have a little pointers and advice.
It's the mental part of the game is hard because you're not in a traditional team sport, right? You're not playing football, you're not playing American football or basketball or anything like that, right? So you can't hide amongst your teammates or, go out there and let them score and take the victory. Like when you out there, it's you alone, and you got to be able to come home with the victory or not come home with the victory, right? It was a little different for me because I didn't have a whole country on my back. You know what I mean? So I never felt like, even after winning the Olympics, I got off the plane, there was no parade. There was none of that. I don't have a street named after me. I don't have a statue. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, for me, it was like an individual victory compared to like going out there and doing it. So the pressure wasn't at a level where I will respect someone like Asafa. Like I understood the pressure he was on and he had. But I think for the young athletes now, how they be able to navigate that pressure, and I tell them all the time, I was like, look, don't let the moment be bigger than you. You trained every day for this moment. The moment is waiting on you. Now, if you don't show up, somebody else is going to show up, but the moment you've trained for is waiting on you. So go seize the moment. And I tell them, the time you're going to be most comfortable is at practice. You remember it is when you have the best practice. When you have the best practice, you be like, man, I am unstoppable. That's the mentality I tell them to go out there and take. When you're getting ready, warm up like it's the best practice. Be loose, be relaxed, go out there and just say, you know what, don't worry about the pressure, because the fans will be there, the haters going to be there, the media's going to be there, no matter what. You cross that line, you go out there and run your best race.
Right.
Yeah.
Wicked. So, talking about, you mentioned, statue and, all that stuff. What do you think about Jamaica? Because I know that you can get off a flight in the US and maybe out of 100, maybe 2 people recognize you or 3. And you step off a flight in Jamaica and instantly everybody
Recognizes you
you.
instantly.
So it's like, how do you feel coming to Jamaica? You know, what are your impressions? Because I mean, I know throughout the years, you know, Jamaicans. I mean, it's a they feel like they're competing as well. That's how Jamaicans are.
Yeah.
They feel like they're out there with you, but you know,
Like the difference.
like what do you think?
I'm gonna say it. I've always said, Jamaicans are the best fans.
Mm-hmm.
They die hard.
Yeah.
They just want really good competition,
Mm-hmm.
right? Win or lose, they want really good competition.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was always public enemy number one for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So I felt like beyond like 2014, I felt like I could not come to Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like, man. And it was a time where I took a trip, and it was I could have flew to Jamaica
Yeah.
as a layover and then fly from Jamaica. Right?
Yeah.
It would have saved me 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I decided to take the long way. Cause I felt like I was like public enemy number one.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I just felt like that for a while, and I realized, like, especially after like we started doing our show with Ready Set Go, it's like we got so much fanfare, and for a while Jamaica was our top, you know what I'm saying, country that was showing so much love to us. And I realized it was never against me personally. It was just the fact of
No, it's just the Jamaica.
I'm not
US.
born here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, it's just the Jamaica America rivalry. That's all it is. You know what I mean? If you came to Jamaica, you know, after all that went inside the stadium, you get mad love.
Listen,
And even though you know what I mean, when we're on the track together, believe me, you are public enemy number one.
Of course.
But you
know
know,
this.
outside of that, you know, Jamaicans, you know, they love the sport, they love their athletes, they support the sports a lot. And if you're on top of your game, and a lot of Jamaicans are fans of you. Yeah.
It's the pride that comes with it. One of my good friends is Novaline, right?
Yeah.
Novaline Mills. So she always tells me, I'm gonna root for you. But the moment of the Jamaicans in the race,
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know, I just want you to make sure that you just don't hurt yourself and you finish the race. Because she said I gotta root for Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But it's diehard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think those are one of the things I wish that I was born into. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, how could you not love that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love the fact of all the hard work you put out, that you are getting constant praise for your hard work, your dedication, your discipline, and that's not American thing.
Yeah.
It's not
Right.
American thing. So we don't get that love like you all get that.
Like
love.
underappreciated in a sense.
It's been so many times where I thought, like, you know what? Pack up everything. We moving out of here, America. We going somewhere else to an island. We going somewhere where people can understand and respect what we built. You know what I mean? Because you know we built this from the ground up. Each of us has built something that has been amazing in our sport. You know, so now I can just walk through. Sometimes I can go to grocery stores or different events and people still will recognize me a lot of the time, right? But it's never to the magnitude of me coming here.
Yeah.
Like people recognize my name. Like the passport control lady.
Exactly.
She didn't even look up. She just took my passport and she looked down. She was like, she knew by name.
Exactly.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
And America's like, you look like.
Familiar. Yeah, you look familiar.
You look like. Either they know my name or they know my face. That's it.
Right.
But it's always like,
that's
you
bad,
look.
though. Yeah.
insane.
And I mean, and I think we will discuss that on their platform.
Ready, Set, Go.
You know, the Ready Set Go platform. You know, we'll talk. You know, about all that track stuff and what can be changed and all that. You know, but we. After this, we're going to the stadium. I'm going to show off on him with my statue.
Show off.
I'm like, yo, this is my statue. Where's yours? But I have a lot of respect for him as well. Like I said, like last night we actually went out and we spoke, and it wasn't a vibe, it was just natural. And over the years, like I'm like, why were we
Didn't you guys talk to each
yeah,
other? Why didn't you guys just vibe?
Justin would walk in the hotel and Justin would see me and Justin would be like,
Not
Yeah.
really?
I mean, we it's still saying hi, we like.
It's like two dogs.
Yeah.
When they see each other, they acknowledge each other.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
you stay over there, I'm stay over here. Kind
That's
Yeah, man.
wild. So
Yeah.
like even after that is so crazy. to me.
Yeah,
So even
man.
after competing, like it was still the same energy. Like
there
no
was-
hangout, no
for
partying.
me, I hung out with Justin once indirectly. You know, we went to we were in a club in Zurich and Switzerland, and I saw him and I was like, "Yo, what you drinking?" You know what I mean? And I bought him a bottle of stuff, some drinks, and last night I'm learning that this man doesn't really drink that stuff. Huh?
Well, I drink everything.
Yeah?
I drink everything.
Yeah. All right. Back then.
I'm a tequila guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I roll with tequila, but back
Okay.
then I was drinking everything.
Okay,
It was the fact that we just never hung out.
Yeah, we're
you know
young.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the moment, it was very indirect.
So looking back now with the connection you guys have, do you think like if you could have went back in time, you guys would that be something you would do differently?
Absolutely.
Like,
I
have
would have
the
called his room
connection?
every day. Every time we was at a track meet, like, all right, race is done. Where we going?
Right.
Yeah, because my thing is outside of track and field, like I don't think I've ever gotten to know like any other other athletes. Like we wait on that few months of the year to really know what's up, like when he's going to open, when am I going to open, and like the minute he opens and he ran like maybe a 9.8 or a 9, I'm like, all right.
Pressure.
Like, yeah, that's the only time, you know, we like, I don't know his background, like his family, you know, all that stuff. We're just always like, is he training hard? Is he hurt? Is he ready? Like,
I didn't know anything about him. I felt like he was like a robot, and
Exactly.
they just turned him on,
Yeah.
and he just went on
Really?
to the track.
So
Seriously.
you probably didn't even expect him to like. A lot of people always feel like, oh, you can talk. Oh, you actually, you know, you have a personality because he just seems so robotic. Like what you're.
It was
what
like
you're saying.
It was like at least 2.5 years before I ever heard what Asafa voice sounded like.
yeah.
And we would be we would be in races,
Yeah.
shoulder to shoulder next to each other.
Yeah. And like,
No,
all right.
this is so
yeah.
mad.
It's so crazy because like even like you said, we'll be like you'll be in lane 4, I'll be in lane 5, or vice versa, whatever it is. And last night was that's the first time I know that Justin was that tall, was almost as tall as I am.
What?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought he was shorter than that.
So
No, do you guys know how crazy
Yeah,
this is?
listen, from 2003, 4, 5, your husband was a dominating figure, right? When he stepped to the line, muscles bulging, he big, you know what I'm saying? No Diddy. You and Stinky Toe know that.
exactly, no
Only you
Diddy.
and Stinky Toe know that stuff. But what I'm saying is that he had an intimidating factor that went into his races. He was like a silent killer. He didn't talk a lot. He didn't have to talk a lot. His feet did the work. Especially in 2004, he was running around the world destroying everybody. I remember there was a picture. There was a picture of him, I think at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And you coming across the line. It was still photo.
Yeah.
And it was you and Maurice Green, right?
Yeah.
And Maurice is just running. You can see he's running hard. Tongue hanging. Right?
Yeah.
And you just running. You just big dog and you just like looking down at him like that while you running. I was like,
Yeah.
man, this dude
I have
gonna
that
be a
picture
problem.
upstairs, by the
You
way.
have that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he does. The minute he said it, I was like,
You know that picture.
Yeah, I have that picture upstairs, man. It's crazy, man. Whoa. Yeah,
No,
man.
but honestly, I cannot believe that you'd even know he was tall. Like, I mean, I was surprised 'cause on TV. I mean, people say that about him, that he looks short. So I actually didn't know you were quite tall.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
standing next
But-
to 6'3", I'm standing next to 6'5", you
Yeah,
saying? So it's
yeah.
like, I'm always going to look short.
True.
And TV going to make you look a certain way.
Yeah.
Right.
exactly.
So do you think that that's missing now? So he was saying that he had a comment that he made that back in your guys' time, everybody just looked intimidating. Do you think that's a little bit like, is that missing now?
Yeah.
The
They don't do that now.
intimidation?
They don't
Yeah,
do
like,
that.
you
now.
just look like a beast. Like we're like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know how big I was until like I saw some pictures or
No.
videos. I'm like, what's going on? Like they'll be announcing the athletes and you know they're announcing from lane 1 all the way up, and when they get to my lane, like the camera has to go all the way up in the air.
Okay.
He was a
yeah,
big
like,
dude.
yeah,
Right.
you-
When he
you
ran, he
don't
was even
realize-
look bigger.
Yeah.
I remember watching a race. It's a side view of you,
Yeah.
and he's running a race. And he looks bigger than everyone in the race, but it looks like an optical illusion. It looks like he's closer to the camera, but he's actually like in lane 5 or 4. So he's just bigger.
Crazy.
That's what it looked like.
Right.
Yeah.
So why do you think that's missing now?
I think that this era of runners don't particularly care about being intimidating. I think it's more, their persona is more about the flash,
Okay.
what I got, what I can do, where I'm hanging out at, that kind of stuff. I think it kind of, and I think track and sports in general just kind of like goes hand in hand with like rap music, to be honest. You know what I mean? Back then it was Tupac, Biggie. It was more gangster rap. It was more like hard, DMX, that kind of stuff, right? And that's the stuff we warmed up to. Now they warming up to like, I got the rollie on my wrist, ice on my neck, that kind of stuff. So they more swaggy with it than we were.
Right. So you guys came with the intimidation energy because of the music you're listening to as well.
So. Yeah.
Like we came with a fist.
That's exactly
came with a fist on our feet.
Yeah.
Talk me through a relay. Like, I would love to know the energy. Like, USA versus Jamaica relay. Like, I want to relive that moment. Like, I want to act like I was there.
You set her up for this right now?
I have nothing to do with that.
He was like, hey,
nothing,
he was like,
nothing
talk
to
about
do
the
with
relay. Man, I would say that our relays at that point in time was in shambles. Because when you watched Team Jamaica, and correct me if I'm wrong, Asafa, a lot of the guys you kind of like grew up watching or you ran with them that was on your team, right? You ran club track and things like that. So you grew up with them. So you had a bond.
Yeah.
When you look at Team USA, it comprises of athletes who probably never ran against each other at a young age. And right now, at the height of their career, their top competitors outside of Jamaica would be those guys in the USA field.
Yeah.
So we always had a veil of like, almost like you like, all right, like we on the same team, but it's like.
Yeah, but stay away from me.
But stay away from me.
So you guys just didn't gel. Like, too much egos.
It would be we would walk, they would be laughing. Like going into the call room, Team Jamaica would be laughing, having a good time.
Oh, man.
Like you would think they're getting ready to go to a party.
Yeah.
They would be in the call room, be like,
yeah.
where we going? What we doing after this, right?
Do you think that was a distraction to intimidate you guys too?
Hell yeah. What do you mean? Because we would be sitting right there across from them, right? Because the meet promoters would strategize it. They would be Team Jamaica. It would be like on the wall, right? It would be Jam on the wall, it'd be USA on the wall. So we all have to sit in our areas. So we had to literally watch them and see them. They relaxed, they chilling, and how would we be, right? We'd be sitting there like this.
Yeah, but
really?
Like we'd be sitting there quiet like this. We wouldn't even be talking to each other.
Yeah.
We'd just be sitting there like
true.
this.
100%.
100%.
That's awkward.
Yeah. I think that we just never got an opportunity to kind of like gel enough to where we could be relaxed.
Right.
And then on top of that, as much as I hated to see them win, I loved seeing Jamaica celebrate. I'm going to go on the record and say that because as soon as they crossed the line, it was dances. It was, listen, it would be people in the audience that had Jamaican flags that you know they weren't Jamaican. Because they wanted to see the festivities. They wanted to see the entertainment.
The energy.
They brought the energy. We didn't bring the energy.
Right.
And I think now that's what's missing in track and field now is the fact that no matter who wins, even if a Jamaican athlete wins now, there's no celebration. You know, it's always like, oh, good job, here's your flowers, throw it in the stands, all right, cool, get off the track. I think it misses the fact of what they really brought to the table, which is real fun, camaraderie,
put on a
bonding,
show.
put on a show.
Always a fun time. That's why, I mean, and that's one of the things I kind of miss too. I miss my teammates as well, you know, Michael Freighter, you know, Nesta Carter, you know, Bolt, you know, I miss, you know, that, you know, bond that we had in the sports. And, you know, like you said, you know, we're just always laughing, you know, always making jokes and, you know, and just doing fun stuff. And the crazy thing is we don't even practice together.
They didn't need, the thing is, they didn't need to intimidate us because they just had that energy.
So I have to ask you guys this. Did you guys ever get nervous, like, competing against each other? Individually and like really,
I mean the nerve has to be there, you know what I mean? Your nerve has to be there. You just don't want to be too nervous. But of course, you know, you're going in a race. You know, you're in against Justin Gatlin, Usain, you know, Tyson, whoever it is. Of course it changes the entire race, you know, because if you're going to run against like no names,
it's easier.
You want, like, when you're going to compete, you want to know who is in the race. And if you hear, you know, some guys, you're like, okay, cool. But if you hear, you know, Justin Gatlin, then you're like, okay, that means my parents fee is more because we're going to run against each other, you know, and, you know, everything else has to be more, you know what I mean?
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm going to put a perspective for you. Like, from 2003 to like 2000, I'll say 7-ish, right? There was only one individual I had to worry about. And that was him. That was Asafa. So when he lined up, I know I had to be on guard. So it's always going to come with a little nerves, a little anxiousness.
Right.
Because there's only one individual at that point in time on the face of the planet that can run stride for stride with me. So I had to make sure that my race strategy was on point, my phases was good. And then on top of that, he was the best starter in the world. So
what would be like your plan to execute? Like if you're running against him, all the times that you beat him, what was the execution plan?
this was the execution plan. Please, God.
for me, what I admire about Justin, like if he 2003 when we started competing against each other, nothing has changed. Like same technique, same everything, and he goes into every race with the same technique, same everything. And where I think I've gone through so many changes in my technique just to try and make it better and better. So it's like, sometimes when I'm running and if like Justin reacts before me, I'm like, shoot,
He's gone.
let me go back to my other technique. And like,
So you're thinking while running.
Yeah, so overthinking. But Justin just have one, way that he's running. I'm always trying. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to, sprinting. So I always want to, run a particular way and all that stuff.
If I don't have him by 30, or if I'm not in like striking position, race is done. I know by that time.
Oh, so you
by
guys
35,
know that.
if he's already from the distance of where he is sitting on the couch to where I'm at, race is done. I know it. Because you run against somebody for so many times, for so long, you know exactly where their striking points are. And if you allow them even like an inch or a centimeter to get away, it's done.
I never thought about it like that. Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, all of the track talk. How did you like get into track and field? Where you grew up, like your mother, your parents,
Origin story.
your siblings, and all that stuff.
Origin story. I haven't done origin story in a long time.
You want to hear?
I did. My parents allowed me to try every sport.
Okay.
Anything I wanted to try, my parents allowed me to do. So I started off with baseball, American football. I did swimming. I actually played saxophone, trumpet, piano.
Wow.
Really?
And then last, I tried track. That was my last thing I tried. And then that's what I fell in love with. Because I was like, I don't have to worry about pads, equipment. I'm just going out there just me against the rest of the field. That's what it is, stride for stride. So that's what I found out. I remember I brought my jersey home in middle school when I made the track team. And I came in the house and I showed my parents. I was so happy. I was like, look, I made the track team. They looked at each other and they bust out laughing.
Why?
Because around the house I was so slow. You know what I mean? They called me the lounge lizard because I was so slow to do my chores. I was so slow to walk. I was so slow to do anything. So they was like, man, you're not fast. Like, what are you doing? Well, how did you get on this team? They came out to watch me run for the first time, and they fell in love. They've been my fan ever since. My biggest fans. But before that, like, it wasn't humble beginnings like yours. But in elementary school, we had, like, a red clay track. So we didn't have, like, a real track. And that's why I was, like, racing against a guy named Billy. Billy was, we in first grade. Billy's already 6 feet tall. He's a big boy, right? So we would run, and it would be like stride for stride, and he always would beat me to the line. But I would never give up. I would always come back to recess the next day and try again, the recess again, the next day and the next day, right? And I think that's where it kind of like really cultivated the fact that I really wanted to like start competing, and I had a hunger for competition. And then we went from clay tracks to parking lot asphalt. That's what it is in America. So, and for whatever reason, we thought it was cool to put on sprint spikes with the metal teeth at the bottom running on concrete.
Oh, shoot.
So all you hear is
Yeah,
so we thought we was fast.
When you hear that sound.
When you hear that sound, you moving.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I found track, middle school, didn't keep my grades up. Mom pulled me off the track team. Then I found track again in high school. And then I kind of like blossomed into that. And then one of the coaches was like, you really can really do this. So let's figure out how you could get to the next level. So then I just kept trying, kept working at it, trying to be better. And I was fortunate enough to have coaches around me that really saw something in me that I didn't see. So they was already calling me world class. He was calling me world class when I was still in high school. Like, you world class? I was like, Coach, I don't know what world class is. What's that? You know?
Yeah.
So then the opportunity came when went to college, signed, then I turned pro, and then did all that. So that's how I got into track and field. I just stumbled into it, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah.
What college you went to again?
Tennessee. University of Tennessee. Yeah.
I was like, I know. I used to watch him in college.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, because we were the same age, the same everything. And like my foot,
I was
so
battling
I knew
against-
who I was gonna
From
be.
then, oh my goodness, this has been long rivalry.
Yeah,
Long.
yeah.
I didn't even know he existed. He popped on the scene just out of nowhere. I was like, who is this guy? Because I was battling Kim Collins.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And Kim Collins was the dude then.
Right.
And it was Kim Collins, Lindell Frater, you know what I mean, at TCU. And I was like, all right, cool. Once I get past these guys, I was like, it's clear sailing. In walks Asafa
Not
Powell.
knowing.
Smoke coming off from his feet, music playing. I was like, oh my God.
Billy.
Yeah, man.
He was your Billy.
He was my Billy. He was my Billy.
Yeah, man. Because, out of college, like we were the guys who they were pushing to.
The sport.
Yeah, it's crazy though. And you grew up in what state?
Florida. Actually, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. Dad was in the military. I moved down. We got transferred to Florida. And actually Alabama. My mom was a New Yorker. She's a tough New Yorker.
Yeah.
And she looked at my dad and said, "We not moving to Alabama." So she said, "You got to pick somewhere close." So we moved to Pensacola, Florida, which is like an hour away from what his job was. So he had to drive an hour each way every day. So I had the opportunity and fortunate. I don't think if I lived in New York, I would have never been a track athlete.
No.
Right.
I would end up playing basketball.
Yeah.
Right.
Basketball was my first love. And then I just like found track and field. So Florida was a place I needed to be at. Stretch my legs, literally.
Yeah, I know you're in Texas.
Now I'm Texas.
Texas boy.
Hot.
So I'm going to go there. I'm going to ask you this question. So, how we met, he slid in my DMs, So how did you meet your wife? Are you sliding in DMs?
I did not get the opportunity to slide in her DMs, but it was kind of like real life slide in DMs.
Okay.
So in Daytona, in Florida, Daytona Beach, right? If anybody knows Daytona, it's a little spring break town. So when it's not spring break, it's just like a hole in the wall city.
Okay.
And she went to Bethune-Cookman. And she was actually, we had a track and field annual convention that we have around the United States. It just so happened to be in Daytona that time. I was at the club with Wallace. We at the bar taking shots, boom, throwing them back, boom, boom, boom. I turn around and I see her.
Right.
I see her walking. She's in the club like this, walking through. Now she don't have no like club clothes on. I'm like, so that threw me off a little bit too. And I tap Wallace like, you see her? I'll go talk to her, right? She had the curly brown hair, cocoa skin. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk to her. So then I walk up to her. By that time, I'm already kind of like real tipsy, like, right? I was like, before I tapped on her shoulder, I was like, if I talk to her like a drunk person, she's just gonna brush me off.
Yeah,
Right.
So then I acted like I was sober. So I started talking to her. I started talking about life. I was talking about what you going to school for. We in the middle of the club, music banging, right?
Yeah.
I was like, what you going to school for? Oh, really? Your master's degree? Oh, awesome. That's cool. Yeah. I'd love to be able to talk to you more. So I got her number. Come to find out, she actually was in the club looking for her roommate, and her roommate was drunk in the club, and her roommate was trying to look for me. Right?
What?
So then, but her roommate never found me in the club.
Yeah.
So then I got her number. I texted her. I was like, hey, have a good night. You know what I mean? After she left. And then the next day I texted her. I was like, pick anywhere in the city. We're going to go eat. Anywhere. Any restaurant, we're going to go eat. So she picked like Bonefish Grill or something like that. And then we go eat. I had like a salad. You know what I mean? I didn't want to show out. I had a little salad.
No, not the salad.
Little salad. Walked her to a car. You know, I played the gentleman role, right? And then after that, I always tease her. I was like, ever since that first date, I was like, you've been getting close. She moved closer and closer to me. So she started in Daytona. Then she moved to like a town called Sanford. That's like about 45 minutes away from Orlando, right? Outside of Orlando. Then she moved into Orlando. She moved to like Wintermere or Winter Garden. And then finally, we got together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
So I didn't get a chance to slide in the DMs, but
he was at where were he? Worlds.
I wasn't anywhere.
He was Beijing.
okay.
So instead of him, executing and doing what he needs to do, he was in my DM.
He said he liked what he liked.
Yeah, he was like, I kept popping up on his page, on his feed, and he was like, should I not? Should I?
Just take the shot.
Yeah, man. I'm like, I'm gonna take the shot.
Oh gosh,
Oh, clearly it worked.
it worked.
Yeah,
It worked.
yeah.
Take me back proposal.
Several stinky toes later.
But listen, man.
No,
let
no.
the people know. Let the people know that your wife is an island girl.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh,
Caribbean.
Trinidad and Tobago. My wife is an
Yeah.
island girl.
Yeah, man.
True and true. She come to America, and I always make fun of her because she been in America for almost like a decade, but she still like is an island girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the things she say, the things she don't know, I just be like, what? You've been here way too long not to notice.
Yeah.
So, shout outs to Trinidad and Tobago for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And I want to ask you this question because I know I mentioned that I miss competing and traveling and all that stuff, but do you after retirement? Do you feel the need to travel a lot?
No.
Exactly.
Do you like traveling? Like, do you like even being on planes?
But being married,
No.
You know what I mean?
But he's the same way
being
now.
married is like I have to do it so she can get to have the experience, because we've traveled to so many places throughout our careers, been on so many flights. I don't even like flying anymore.
I don't like flying anymore either. Like real talk.
You
I
get
don't like
scared
flying.
too because he's
Yes,
like,
I don't like.
Yeah,
any little turbulence, he's like,
Like,
no.
I used to laugh at people on the flights. No, I'm the laughing stock.
Any little, he's like,
That's me.
feel that?
That's
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
No one will sit with me.
Really?
As soon as turbulent hits, I'm like,
Yeah.
right? Seriously.
That is him though. Serious mood, he's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I got embarrassed this one time. I had my headphones on and hit a pocket, right? So when it hit the pocket, it drop, right?
Yeah.
Headphones on, so I can't hear myself, but the whole cabin can hear me. All I do is, whoa. Everybody turn around looking at me like I'm going crazy, right? But I just hate turbulence. There's been so many times I get on a plane, my palms will sweat.
Yeah, man.
I remember it was a lady sitting across the aisle from me, and she just looked over me and says, "It's okay, baby, you'll be okay." She started reaching over, rubbing my back. I just, for whatever reason, it was like a switch.
Yeah.
It was like one day I just started like being scared of flying.
Yeah.
just- I didn't know
Same
what
with
it
me,
was.
man.
and you guys
Same with
were
me.
literally living on planes.
Yeah, man.
all
We'd
the
fly.
time.
We'd fly to a track meet. The next morning we're back on another flight somewhere else. It was so much, man. It was so much, and then after a while, I think I started thinking about too much on
Things.
flights.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's
Give
like,
me-
I've been on so many flights. It's like I'm like, man, I think I need to stop now.
It's not fun anymore traveling.
Yeah.
I like just teleport me to wherever vacation you want to
Yeah.
go to. But
So-
but my wife is different though.
She likes to
does
fly.
she does sneaky
That's
she does
it.
these sneaky vacations where
Yeah.
she does like we're gonna go here
Yeah.
and then 2 days later we're gonna go here and here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
like
what
we
I'm
go on
saying.
another plane.
No, you have to do it because of the wives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Give me a crazy track story. Because as he was talking about flights, a story just popped in my head where did you go? China? Where you and Paul, you had a night and you were in fetal position going into the next flight.
Man, this was, I think, 2007. Went to Japan, and we went there for a track meet. Then after the track meet in the night, we went to the roof bar, and we were, having some drinks, because back in the days, we're not like these.
Don't
these
do this,
new
okay,
kids.
athletes?
Back in the day, not to encourage you guys to do anything, but back in the day, we used to have something after we compete and enjoy, whatever it.
Rightfully so, because we didn't have social media.
Exactly,
then. So we just
so we
had-
enjoy life
yeah.
and all that stuff, and the bar closed early. The bar was closing off like at 12, and we're like, oh, what I mean? Why? We're just getting ready to party, so we're hanging out with some Australian people, and man, Paul was like rooming like 700 and something, and then we're like, yeah, we're ready. And then while I was walking to the elevator, I'm like, Paul, that's my room. Paul was like, yeah, you have the biggest room. So, went to my room and, we ordered, a bunch of drinks and all that stuff to come to the room. And next thing I know, in the morning, I was in the lobby, curled up on the floor like this.
That's crazy.
And I actually had an appearance to make like an hour, and we had to cancel. Like Paul had to pack my bags, took me downstairs.
All of that.
I was like, everything, man, and that was my crazy story, man. Crazy story.
So do you have any, or you were like unruly?
I have my unruly moments for sure.
Yeah.
I was at pin relays, and I went out with Jeff Dimps, right? We just finished running the relay. We was in line at the club, and going up, we got to the front of the line. The bouncer said, "No baseball caps." I took my baseball cap, I threw it off like Michael Jackson. Get out of here, we going in this club. We about to have a good time. Soon as I got in the club, like Jeff was right behind me. So you know how it is, you get frisked, check your ID, do whatever, go into the club, and then they got to do him next, right? He said, as soon as I got in the club, I saw Justin with his shirt off already and 2 bottles in my hand, I'm standing on the couch.
Oh my God.
Because we was pre-gaming before we got there. So by the time I got in the club, I was ready to turn up. Right? And then what happened was I overslept that same thing. I overslept, and then I was about to miss the flight because they had a shuttle for us to go to the airport. I got up, packed all the stuff in the bag as much as I can, went downstairs, called an Uber or a taxi at that time, and so somehow I paid like the taxi guy like an extra $20. I was like, get me to the airport as quick as you can, because they already left. I beat them to the airport, and I beat them so fast to the airport. I got on the ground, put my bag on the ground as a pillow, and I curled up in the fetal position. I waited for them to come because I was so messed up. I was so drunk. That was one story. I almost missed a whole bunch of flights.
Yeah.
I was in Sardinia. You ever been to Sardinia?
Yeah, I've been there once. Sardinia, exotic place, man.
So
What does that mean?
It's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful.
The way you said it, what, the women?
No, the water. The water's very blue.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Crystal blue. Beautiful place to see.
Yeah,
Wow,
they
okay.
spoke Italian. Yeah.
Como se dice? You know?
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, the bar closed early,
Yeah.
right? Small town, so the bar closed like at 10:30 or something like that. As soon as the kitchen closed, everything closes. The only thing they had out was like wine. So we drinking, we played the boombox, we had music playing, Mike Rogers had the music, and next thing you know, instead of sipping wine like you traditionally sip wine, we were taking shots of wine, we were drinking wine like it was liquor. We were so tore up the next day, like it was horrible.
Man.
But that was us back in the past. 'Cause we had no
Yeah.
social media, so the only time we could do is have fun was with each other.
Yeah.
And
so
also,
guys, so that shows that you can have fun without
don't OD,
don't
but
too much, not too much. You know what I mean?
But also, you guys never really when I think of track, you guys really don't really even get time to yourself. Like, what is it, like 3 weeks you get off, or a month?
All our time was like around athletes.
Literally.
Off
season.
So that's why I'm enjoying like this right now, like family time and all that stuff. I get to make my own, time, set my own times and do, stuff for fun instead of just waking up at 4:30 every morning and, getting ready for practice and all that stuff. Like life was surrounded just by track, and then track people.
So life after track, what are you doing now? Are you into are you gonna go into coaching? What does it look like?
Apart from Ready, Set, Go.
Right.
Apart from the podcast,
Yeah.
actually, I've been dabbling a little bit in the coaching space. I like to consider myself more of a consultant.
Okay.
Co-host Rodney over at where we do Ready, Set, Go. He is a bona fide coach. I praise him all the time because it's like we spent 20 years in the track game, and I know what the other side looks like as a coach. I know the sacrifice that you have to give as a coach. And you have to wake up with the athletes. You got to go out there with the athletes. You got to plan everything for the athletes. You got to push the athletes. You got to time the athletes. You got to do all this, right? So if it was already taxing and tiring for me as an athlete, I know what it's going to be as a coach. And to be a good coach, you don't want to be a bad coach. You want to make sure that you have the discipline to be a good coach and be out there for your athletes. So I think for me right now in my life, consulting would be better. Because right now my baby is the Ready, Set, Go, growing the platform, helping out the next generation of athletes have their own place to be able to talk and come to and tell their stories without it being filtered through the media and editors omitting stuff from them being real human. So that's what I love to do. And spending time with the family, man. You know, just growing my son, he's 14 now, going to his freshman year of high school. So I think it's critical that I be there to make sure that I'm at his games, I'm at his practice, I'm help training him so he can be able to get a footing into like what he wants to be and what he desires to be.
Love that.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys are still, because you guys were always just on the go, and now it's just be still and be present.
It's hard though. Do you find it's hard to sit still sometimes? Do you find it's hard to sit still sometimes?
All the time.
Yeah.
He lives in a
All the
garage.
time.
Yeah.
All the
Literally.
time, man. I always try to find something to do. And speaking about cars, like I remember once somebody was like, "Yo, you know, Justin pull up in a Porsche at training." I'm like, "He's driving a Porsche." Like,
Not you guys keeping tabs. We won't talk to each other, but we're gonna
Yeah,
keep
like-
tabs.
Well, I was keeping tabs.
Yeah.
I knew when he had a Ferrari and everything.
yeah.
I was like, well, hold on. I gotta go to the dealership. I gotta get this Porsche.
Yo, just we're fans without knowing that we're fans of each other.
Yeah,
I think,
for sure.
I think right across the board we're fans of each other.
Yeah.
You know, but we just, I mean, the rivalry and all that stuff really, you know, kind of overshadows all of that. You know, but yeah, we're winding down. But what about, like, do you consider Jamaica like as a vacation spot? Like,
Absolutely.
Would you?
Yeah. Is that an invite? You trying to?
Right.
Yeah,
I
man,
guess,
of course,
I was gonna say it's the next
100%.
vacation.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Is in
100%, man.
Jamaica.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. You know, this is where you have the most fans.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
So, you know, I think you should. I mean, we can definitely make some recommendations and all that stuff, but I think you should, you know, consider.
You're inviting him here.
Yeah, taking some vacations, and even for myself, like I've done a lot of vacations in Jamaica. Also looking to like travel and do vacation because I find it kind of selfish because I've traveled so much. You know what I mean? Even though we didn't really get to do anything or know the cities.
It's true.
I
You
was
go
gonna
to
say, you
Paris.
guys
You
get
go
to
to
see
Paris like
much?
8 times. You've
Yeah.
never even been around the
We've
city or
never
been to
around
Eiffel
the
Tower or
city, you know
anything
what I
like
mean?
that. Yeah.
So I find there's an opportunity now to take the wife, you know, and you know just go and enjoy all these cities that I've competed in and done so many great things in.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Even though you don't want to fly, even though you guys are scared.
No, I don't want to.
Speaking of
fly.
Paris,
So
are
that
you
sounds like
going?
me and Asafa need to sit next to each other on the plane. then.
Clearly, we're gonna do a couple's vacation, and you guys sit next to each other, and I will sit with your wife.
Okay, cool. That sounds like a plan. Then.
Yeah. So Paris. Before we end this, are you going to Paris?
I don't know. I'm still up in the air about it because if you're not an athlete, the Olympics look like chaos. Like trying to find your way around the city to different venues, all the kinds like that. To me, it looks like chaos.
But do you think it would be for you?
I don't know.
Remember who you are.
I know, but you know what? I got Rod. I got a bunch of my friends that they
Right.
keep tapping my shoulder and be like, "You are you, bro.
Right. That's
You are you."
the experience will still be different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, a lot of people might take this the wrong way, but I think.
Wait, anytime you say that, you make me nervous. Because I'm like,
No,
what are you
no,
trying
I
to
think,
say?
no. I think there are certain athletes that should be invited to the Olympic Games.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't be sitting around and like, am I going to the Olympics? Look at tickets, like try to find
Right.
apartments, try to find like. There are certain
Yeah.
athletes that I think, you know, should be invited.
I agree.
To the Olympic
Right,
Games.
especially like
You
the
what I mean?
legends.
Because I
you
mean,
know,
exactly. You were at the Olympic Games. You know, you brought out a lot of crowd and all that stuff to the games. People came to see you. So it's like leaving track and field, winning, you know, all the gold medals, breaking world records, and then go and sit in a 9-to-5 job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's kind of similar to that. You know what I mean? So I believe the athletes should be invited. You know, should be recognized and all that stuff.
Right.
You know, even athletes before us.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
I think our history is always pushed to the side or pushed to the back.
Yeah.
And the people that we look to that inspired us when we watch videos of them, you never see them. It's like they almost dead to the world. You know, it's like there's so many people who are still alive who put greatness in our sport, and it's like the sport doesn't welcome them.
Yeah.
You know, and they should welcome them because they paved the way for us to come along. Then we paved the way for the next generation to come along.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there are athletes that have to be searching social media to find.
Right.
Like athletes that I've competed with over the years, you know, and all that stuff. Like they just return.
Yeah, we need to change that, definitely. Because no matter what, you know, history's written. You guys cannot be forgotten, but it doesn't make sense that once you're done and retired, it's like, okay, on to the next, you know?
So are y'all going to Paris? Paris is the thing?
I want to.
I want to. I think it's in the works.
Nudge.
I think it's in the works.
Yeah.
You know, so we might be there.
All right, send me the itinerary then.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, because I actually want to experience it because I never really got the chance to see him, you know, compete at that level. Because I think we met each other in 2015, and throughout that time period, he was going through a lot of injuries. So I never really got to see him. And then I was busy traveling. So I just want to, it would be different, but I just want to experience feel the atmosphere. And I mean, for you guys,
the love he's going to get from that,
And then for you guys, even just watching a whole different experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it right now. We'd be sitting right there in the little box in the stand. We'd be drunk already.
Yeah.
Watching it.
You're like,
Taking
glad
side
that's not
bets.
me, right? Right. So I think this is a solid plan we're going.
Yeah, man.
All
It is
right.
a solid plan. You know, with that being said, we want to thank Justin for coming on our platform, thanking Tidal League team for breaking the ice, you know, and making this happen. You know, sometimes, you know, I mean, things happen for a reason, and you know, like I said last night, you know, was really great. You know, having dinner and getting to know Justin, which made this a lot easier, because I think if he had came just directly to the podcast, I'd be like, it probably would have, I mean, it would have gone smoothly because it was natural, but we would still be like,
You guys got the chance to actually connect.
yeah, because he thinks the same way, just like me. Like what he said, like upstairs, we were speaking upstairs, and what he was saying is like, it's the same thing I was thinking. You know what I mean? So, you know, so it's natural, you know, and, you know, appreciate him for coming on and coming to Jamaica. This man fly to Jamaica.
With Diamond League money.
Diamond League money. This man used some of the
And
Diamond
a
League
brotherhood
money.
is formed now.
Yeah.
Okay, it's worth it.
Yeah. I think, I don't think it's the Brussels money that he ran 974. Maybe one of the other Diamond Leagues.
I had to turn in one of the trophies. I turned in one of the Diamond League trophies to book this ticket.
But yeah, man, and you know, he's actually leaving tomorrow. You know, maybe next time he will come for a longer time, and you can get to, you know, move around more and
show him
enjoy
around.
the country. I'm going to show him. I'm going to show him my statue. I'm going to show off.
He's going
After
to show
this,
off his statue,
I'm
everybody.
going to show off the statue. So, yeah, man. So, big up Justin, you know what I mean? And, you know, hope you enjoy your stay. Thank you very much for, you know, joining me and the family, you know, on this episode of the Fast Lane Lifestyle. And hope to see you again very soon. All right, big up.
Will do. Appreciate it. Appreciate having me.
Yeah,
Definitely
man.
appreciate
Respect,
it.
man.
So.
Yeah.